All right, I know you know what time it is. It's time to factor. It's time to factor. So I hope you got your thinking cap on. That's a weird expression, but I hope it's true for you. So let's go get it, everybody. So we're going to practice factoring. Now these are going to be perfect square trinomials. I call this level 2 because the leading coefficient, you'll notice, isn't going to be 1 on any of these problems. So these are, I would say, more difficult than level 1, but we still get to leverage the fact that it's a square. Now, a friend of mine, one time we was talking about mathematics, and he said math taught him to think flexibly around rigid ideas, and I thought that was a very beautiful thing to say. Let's apply that here. So we want to try to think flexibly around rigid ideas. So let's go for this. We're going to first use the area method for factoring. All the factoring methods I like are ones where I can practice multiplying at the same time. So because, factoring and multiplying are interconnected, just like, adding and subtracting. So let's look at this. So in the area method, we got the first term is always going to go here, and the last term is always going to go there. So that's what we know for sure. For show. I don't even remember. I did turn it on. All right. Hey, I had to check. More than once I've made a video and forgot to turn it on. Don't you worry about that. That's happened. All right. So I don't know what goes there. I really don't. But similar to the last lesson, I know what they add up to. I do. You see, they add up to 28x. That has to be true. Now, when these are rectangles, this might be, 20, and that might be 8. The nice thing is because these are squares, we should anticipate it's going to be 14 and 14. All right, well, let's first make sure we're knocking these two terms out. Let's go for it. So 4x squared, again, it could be, maybe it's 4x times x. I don't know, maybe. But that's not leveraging, that's not using the symmetry of a square. So these problems, what we want to do is, if it has the chance to be a perfect square, we want to go that route. Because I'm seeing 2x times 2x, that's also a perfect square. So I got this plus 7 and plus 7. And I'm feeling pretty good about these middle areas here. So I got 14x and 14x. Oh my gosh, and that's so beautiful because it does add up to what I want it to. So we're done. That means the final answer, if the area is 4x squared plus 28x plus 49, then the answer is going to be the dimensions of the square, which is 2x plus 7 times 2x plus 7, base times height, or 2x plus 7 squared. All right, very, very good. And remember, this whole idea, the area model, is that the area is equal to base times height. And so you model your polynomial as an area, and then you get the dimensions. Feeling good. Let's try the other way, which is the kind of reverse FOIL or the reverse distribute method. So what we're going to do here is we're going to predict the structure of the answer. Now again, we know the answer, but I didn't circle it or put a rectangle around it. But for a second, you got to suspend reality and say that you don't know the answer because we're looking at a different method. So let's assume we don't know the answer. What we do know is that we want to generate that 4x squared first. Okay, so we know that. We know we want to get to 49. It could be 7 times 7 or negative 7 times negative 7. But again, with our flexibility, when we're multiplying, we know that if that's positive, then these have to both be positive too. They can't both be negative, or that's going to end up being negative. So we're going to go to positive 7 and positive 7. And that's pretty much our answer, but let's go and practice our multiplying as a way of checking to make sure we're doing it correct. So you just kind of want to go back, cover your bases, make sure you got your 4x squared, make sure you're modeling your 49, and then go make sure you've got that middle term. Remember, the middle term's like the most complicated one because it's an addition. The front and the back terms are just a straight multiplication. So there we go. They're both the same. They add up to 28. Somebody just tried to come in because this is over the summer. So they're going to be really tripped out when we're making a video and they're walking in. It's all good, Lo. Not quite yet. Don't worry. I'm making a video. That's Francisco. He's on his way in. Let him do his thing and we'll finish up our thing. No, you're good? You're all good. How's it going anyway?
Good.
All right. So, like I was saying, so here we go. We're finished. It all checks out. So the only thing left to do really is circle your answer, and you get 2x plus 7, and you put the green rectangle around it, and you are finished. All right, let us try one more.
What you got going, man? You know, check off list for tomorrow. Making sure you guys get your rooms somewhat picked up. Come and spray and clean. All right. How's my room looking? Good so far? All right, then.
All right, so let's keep it going. That was Francisco. I think it's the summertime, right? I'm trying to make these videos now because I don't have time during the year so much. And he's like, "What you doing in here, Mr. Miller or Brian?" And I says, "I tell you what, I'm just trying to teach. That's what I'm doing." All right, so this time what we'll do is we'll start with the reverse distributing method. So I look at this and I say to myself, okay, I see a perfect square. I know that's 3x times 3x. And I know that's 5 times 5. So I'm already going to at least look at whether or not this is a perfect square trinomial or not. I see that that's an even number, and I know all perfect squares have an even value there in the middle. So let's try it. I'm going to go 3x times 3x. That's going to give me my 9x squared. I'm going to go 5 and 5. Now, I know if I'm going to add to a minus that this is going to have to be a negative. So let's do that. And I'm going to put plus signs here. So plus a minus. And then I'm feeling pretty good. Let's just check to make sure all is well. So we got positive 25. Those are the ones I kind of knew that I had. But let's make sure we're adding to negative 30. So let's distribute that way, and we'll get minus 15x. Let's do this distribute, get minus 15x. Those add to negative 30, and so we are done. Okay, so we are checked. You might as well just circle this. That's your answer. Or maybe use exponents and say 3x minus 5 squared. Perfect. So factoring is really nice if they're squares. It's actually nice if they're rectangles too, but it takes a little bit longer. Let's look at the area method on this one. So again, we'll act like we don't already know the answer. And it would be a pretty similar approach, except you would put your 9x squared here and your 25 here. You wouldn't know what is here or here. But you do know that they add to minus 30. And then you would say, oh, okay, well, let's leverage that it's a square. So those two dimensions are 3x times 3x. Brilliant. Positive 5 times positive 5. Lovely. And let's just see if it goes where we need it to go. 15x. That adds to positive 30. Well, we need it to be negative 30, so it's not a problem. See? I made a mistake, and how beautiful, how wonderful to be human and make mistakes. What a glorious thing to be human and make mistakes. My God, don't you worry about mistakes. Don't you worry. Alright, and so that's the area. That's all good. And so the dimensions are 3x times 5 times 3x times 5. Oh my God, 3x minus 5 squared. That's a beautiful thing right there. I tell you what. All right, everybody. Be kind to yourselves, all right? Remember, angels fly because they take themselves lightly. So let's move on with the rest of our day. You take care.